Bayless, did you know that LeBron James holds the NBA postseason record for the most game-winning buzzer beaters of all time?
Yeah, because he.
Hold on, wait.
23
No. You said you got a countless amount of evidence where he didn't show up. I just told you he is the all-time leader.
Yeah.
Postseason record for the most game-winning buzzer beaters.
Big shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring this video. Everyone watching the Lakers fall behind in this series saw the same thing. The end. The final proof that Father Time finally collected. They were watching the wrong story. Because while the scoreboard says one thing, the 41-year-old running that offense is the exact thing the rest of the league has been quietly terrified of for years. In his 23rd season, on a roster missing its two best players, LeBron James just unlocked the version of himself the NBA spent a decade trying to engineer out of existence. He didn't just survive this stretch. He became exactly what the league always feared he could be one more time. But to understand why, you have to go back to what this season was supposed to look like. For the first time in 23 years, LeBron James was not the guy. He wasn't the first option. He wasn't the second. The Lakers had been rebuilt around a younger franchise cornerstone, with a secondary creator running the offense next to him. LeBron was the connective tissue, the transition finisher, the Swiss Army knife who skipped passes from the dunker spot, rolled off pick and rolls as the screener, and let the gravity of younger stars open up his looks. And he was great at it. 21 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds, on better than 50% from the field. The smartest version of his career. Not the loudest, the smartest. He wasn't chasing scoring titles anymore. He was chasing a window, conserving every drop of energy for a man whose body has more NBA miles on it than anyone who has ever lived. For the first time in a long time, the structure worked. The Lakers had figured out the math. LeBron wasn't the engine anymore. He was the fuel, a piece of the machine instead of the entire machine. And the plan was simple. Preserve him, protect him, and unleash him deep in the postseason when the games stopped being games and started being something else. But the whole thing was built on a single assumption. 3 people had to stay healthy. Then came April 2nd, Oklahoma City, a blowout loss that nobody saw coming. And in the middle of it, the entire blueprint collapsed in real time. The Lakers franchise star strained a hamstring serious enough to keep him out indefinitely. Their secondary creator tore his oblique on the same night. The 2 players the entire season had been built around were gone, and the playoffs were 2 weeks away. Just like that, the team built to win a championship had no playmakers, no primary scorer, no safety net. The structure that had kept LeBron in his lane all season was rubble. And the question that hung over the rest of the postseason was the only one that mattered. Who was supposed to carry this team now? What happened next is the part nobody outside that locker room saw coming. Here's what everyone expected. A slow, slightly diminished version of a legend trying to fill a role his body wasn't built for anymore. A 41-year-old man asked to play 25-year-old basketball against a healthy playoff team. Houston opened as massive series favorites. Most analysts wrote the Lakers off before tip-off even happened. There was no path. There was barely a pulse. Here's what they got instead. Game 1. LeBron walks out and drops 19 points and 13 assists like the last 20 years of basketball never happened. The Lakers don't just compete. They look like the team that's supposed to be there. Lakers went up 3-0. Houston fought back and won 2 straight. And then he flipped a switch nobody knew he still had. By the time the dust settled, LeBron had dragged the Lakers through 6 games against a healthy Rockets squad and closed it out with 28 points in Game 6. 6 games. Without his franchise star for the entire series. Without his secondary creator for the first 4 games. Against a team that had every reason to bury them. Possession after possession, he wasn't filling in. He was running the show. And the legacy numbers frame everything he's doing. He passed 12,000 career assists. He became the only forward in NBA history to do it, joining a club that until that night had only ever held 3 names, 3 of the greatest point guards the sport has ever seen. He extended his record for most playoff games played. He extended his record for most postseason points ever scored. The man who came into the season as a third option was now the all-time leading scorer in regular season basketball, the all-time leading scorer in playoff basketball, and one of only 4 passers to ever reach that number. So the question wrote itself: how does a 41-year-old on his third team, on a roster missing its 2 best players, beat a healthy Houston squad in 6 games? The answer the rest of the league quietly understood was the part nobody wanted to admit out loud. He never actually lost the version of himself everyone assumed had retired into the rafters. He just stopped using it. But before we continue, I want to quickly talk about today's sponsor, Prize Picks. If you're an NBA fan like me, this is definitely something you want to check out. Prize Picks is America's #1 sports picks app, and it's super simple to use. You just pick more or less on a few player stats and lock in your lineup. For tonight, I put together a 3-player lineup. I got Cade Cunningham to get more than 19.5 points, Donovan Mitchell to get more than 26.5 points since he recently dropped over 40, and Tobias Harris to get more than 18.5 points. I'm running this as a power play, but you can also do this as a flex play for a lower payout. Prize Picks is available in most states, including California, Texas, and Florida, so there's a good chance you can play too. And here's the deal. New users can download the app and use code HMA to play a $5 lineup and get $50 in lineups instantly. I've got the link in the description, so go check out Prize Picks. The NBA had spent years convincing itself that Lebron the Engine was a memory. He just proved it was a switch. And then came Oklahoma City, the team that has spent the entire year making it their job to bury exactly that version of him. The defending champions, undefeated through the entire postseason, riding a perfect record against the Lakers across every meeting this season. The most ruthless basketball machine the league has put on the floor in years. That's what waited for LeBron on the other side of the Houston series. Game 1. LeBron drops 27. The Lakers fight, claw, hang in. Then the third quarter comes. The Thunder pull away, and the game is over before anyone in the arena fully understands what happened. Game 2. LeBron goes for 23 points, 6 assists, 3 steals. The Lakers actually grab a halftime lead. They look like the team in control. Then the third quarter buries them again. Game 3. Back home. Same shape. Close into the third, the dam breaks, and Oklahoma City walks out of Crypto.com Arena with a 23-point win and a stranglehold over the series. The math is brutal. The Lakers are staring down an elimination scenario against a team that has never lost a playoff series after going up 2 games. The Thunder are perfect, undefeated in this postseason, operating like a machine that does not feel pressure because pressure stopped working on them months ago. But look closer. Look at what LeBron is actually doing inside the losing column. Read after read, pass after pass, possession after possession. He is doing the impossible math in real time, trying to be the primary scorer, the primary playmaker, the offensive engine, the late clock decision maker, and somehow the team's defensive anchor too. All inside the same 38 minutes. At 41 years old, against the deepest, most disciplined defense in the sport. And this is the part nobody outside the league wants to say out loud. This is the version the rest of the NBA never wanted to see again. Not the role player, not the connective tissue, not the smart, conservation mode veteran picking his spots. The full version, the one who decides where every possession goes and how it ends. The one who pulls every string on the floor at once. The reason the league spent a decade building defensive schemes, specifically to drag him out of his comfort zone and force him to do everything alone. The Thunder are doing exactly that, and he's still doing it anyway. The series might end, the Lakers might get swept out of this thing entirely. But what's happening inside the box scores is the thing every front office in the conference will be talking about all summer. He still has it. Not pieces of it, not flashes of it, all of it. Because to understand what this moment really means, you have to zoom out, past this series, past this season, and look at what the league has actually been preparing for. The NBA has spent over 2 decades trying to solve LeBron James. 2 full decades of coaches, executives, and entire franchises building their identity around the math of stopping one player. They invented positionless defenses to handle him. They built switch, everything schemes to take away his angles. They drafted bigger wings, longer guards, smarter rotations, entire rosters constructed around a single question. How do you stop a freight train who can also see the whole floor? And when none of it worked, the league did what the league always does. It waited. The assumption was simple. Time would finish the job that talent couldn't. Time would do what the Warriors couldn't do, what the Celtics couldn't do, what the Spurs couldn't do. The body would slow down. The legs would go. The motor would finally start to sputter. And whoever was left standing when that happened would inherit the throne by default. But the fear, the real one, the one nobody said out loud at league meetings, was different. The fear was that LeBron would figure out how to outlast time itself, that he would simplify his game enough, manage his body well enough, preserve his basketball IQ deep enough, that when the moment came, he could still reach back and pull out the old version. Not a glimpse of it, the whole thing. This series is that fear made real, and the part that makes it terrifying isn't that the Lakers are winning, it's that the Lakers are losing, and he is still operating at a level that says he is not the reason. At 41 years old, in his 19th playoff appearance, tied for the most in NBA history, on a roster missing its 2 best players, against the best defensive team the league has assembled in years, he is averaging legitimate primary option numbers, real ones, the kind of numbers that would headline a 28-year-old's playoff run. He is the only player on the floor in that series who has answers, and the team around him cannot keep up with what he is finding. And then the legacy frame sits on top of all of it. He is the all-time leading scorer in regular season basketball. He is the all-time leading scorer in playoff basketball. He is the only player in NBA history with at least 10,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, and 10,000 assists in a career. He just joined the most exclusive passing club the sport has, a 6'9" forward, standing next to 3 of the greatest point guards who ever picked up a basketball. Every record that defines longevity in this league has his name on it, and he is still adding to the list while the playoffs are happening. Whether or not the Lakers come back in this series, whether or not this turns out to be the final playoff run, the league just got its answer to the question it has been quietly asking for a decade. The version of LeBron James they feared most never actually went anywhere. He was just waiting, which leaves only one question worth asking. A 41-year-old man on his 3rd team in his 23rd year just showed the NBA that the version of himself they spent a decade scheming against was never as far away as they thought. This isn't a comeback story, this is a reminder. The league spent 23 years failing to figure out how to beat him at his best, and he showed them one more time that his best was still in the building. So is this the final glimpse, or does the league have one more chapter to worry about? Drop your take in the comments. Hit the like button if you think LeBron just put the NBA on notice. Subscribe for more breakdowns, and check out one of these on your screen now.